Welcome to Cigar Audit. Matt and Edward here to review the Liga Privada Dirty Rat from Drew Estate. This is a 44 by 5 inch cigar. And an interesting wrapper, very similar to the T52s. This has the stalk cut Connecticut Habano seed wrapper, which tends to give it those dark flavors and definitely spiciness to it. So looking forward to it. Edward, your cigar, what does it look and feel like?
Well, it has a nice looking fantail. Seems to be very well packed. It has a little give to it, but not a lot.
Just a little.
Seams are nice and tight. The wrapper looks good without really any blemishes in it.
Yeah, and I'd say the color is kind of like that dark chocolate looking color to it. And I'd say it's toothy.
A little bit.
It's got some tooth to it. What about aroma? Are you getting? I kind of get a sweet tobacco, maybe even a little bit of cocoa on the wrapper.
Maybe a bit. I mean, it's not really strong.
No.
In scent.
No, but a fine looking cigar, and I do prefer this size myself. Personally, I like the Corona size.
Yeah, it feels good in the hand.
Yeah, and it feels good in the mouth too, more importantly. Sometimes, I'll admit, I don't like...
What are you going to admit?
That I don't like large ring gauge cigars.
Okay.
Yeah, when you get to the over 55, it's uncomfortable.
Too buku.
Too buku for me, indeed. So, let's get this cut up and check out the pre-light.
Draw's pretty good. Maybe a little tad tight right now.
Oh, mine's a little open.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How much did you cut?
I did cut down. And I will say that, you know, with the fantails you can pop them off and without cutting them, but I do prefer to cut.
Yeah, sometimes they tear, so
yeah,
you have to be careful.
It's not worth it, but I'm getting definitely a sweetness to it.
Like a sweet paprika spice, maybe.
Yeah, like a sweet spice and maybe even a hint of that cocoa in the background with some earth. So fairly complex for a pre-light draw. And definitely sweet on the lips, but that's probably the wrapper.
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, okay then. All right, well, let's get this lit up and see what the first thoughts are. Wow. So, if you can see us through the smoke, like most Drew Estates, it smokes unbelievably well. And so you get these huge clouds. So you're best to smoke these in well-ventilated areas. What's your first impressions right after the light?
I'm getting quite a bit of different flavors. It's through the nose. It's a sweeter spice. Has a little bit of a bite to it. Still like a little white pepper, but I think it's more of a sweeter spice.
Yep.
And I'm getting like a dark earth, pretty much is the undertone.
Mm-hmm. I think it's, you were talking about it in the pre-light, I think it's more like that sweet paprika with cocoa, for sure. There's definitely notes of cocoa here and definitely that dark earth, but it's not, and I get a little bit of hint here and there of black pepper right off the bat, but it's not strong black pepper. It's just
It just
there.
has a little bit of a bite, not a lot.
But smooth. I actually like the Dirty Rat, so I've smoked a fair amount of these. On the Liga Privada line from Drew Estate, it is the cigar that I think it's very well balanced, and it's one that you can smoke in the morning or late at night. So, but I think it's got that sweetness, especially right off the bat. It's definitely got that sweetness that's inviting, so that you keep smoking it. So, but yeah, I think it's performing pretty well. Interestingly, my draw actually tightened up as soon as I lit it. But so far so good. And as you can see, it looks like there's a small brush fire on the tip of my cigar. So, but nonetheless, performing well. So we'll This is a smaller cigar, so what we'll do is we'll do first half, second half. So we'll smoke down the first half, and then we'll let you know how it performed. Welcome back to Cigar Audit. Matt and Edward here to go over the first half of Liga Privada Dirty Rat. So Mr. Edge, your first half, sir.
It still, has that sweet spice, tobacco, the bite, a little bit of white pepper and then black pepper every once in a while comes in. Really hasn't been a lot of transitions, but a very consistent, well blended, I think, smoke. Plenty of smoke, obviously.
Yeah.
Good flavors. Burning well, haven't had any issues.
No, sorry, I'm keeping myself interested by doing smoke rings. Now, I agree. I think it's
Maybe a little bit of cedar that's coming in too. And with that sweet spice, it's kind of a...
well, I definitely get cedar on the aroma. So kind of a sweet cedar is what I get on the aroma of the smoke. 'Cause it smells really good. As far as the draw flavors, I definitely get kind of a black coffee cocoa mixed with dark earth. But through the nose, definitely that white pepper, and at times it's sharp. But I do get some sweetness, so I think it's that sweet paprika, sweet spice mixture. I've also gotten hints of cinnamon here and there, so definitely a very well-balanced smoke, and one that kind of leaves you wanting to draw again. And I would say that the finish is very long, so the finish to me, lasts a minute or more. So I try not to draw too fast on these cigars, but I will say that this is one of those cigars I have to stop myself from smoking too quickly. Otherwise, it'll definitely turn bitter if you're not careful. But that's mainly because of the flavors. Because the flavors are so good, I just keep puffing away. But smoke time seems to be kind of normal for this size cigar. But the ash held on really well. Mine was almost 2 inches. And, nothing to complain about. I don't know if there are many transitions. Most of the ones I've smoked, they don't have a lot of transition. But they're tremendously pleasant. And I would say have complexity in the blend. Would you agree?
Yeah, there's a lot of flavors in there.
And they're more distinct. You're not struggling to find out what those flavors are. You can tell what they are. Yeah, to me, it's more like a cocoa powder and that undertone of earth and black coffee is what is that standard blend for me. But then that sweetness is on top of that. But very, very good cigar, and can't wait to smoke the rest of it. So we'll finish this guy up, and we'll let you know how it is. Matt and Edward here to finish up the Liga Privada Dirty Rat. Edward, your second half, sir. How was it?
It was very similar to the first, except for me the spice started to pick up a little bit. Still have that sweetness in there, maybe not quite as strong. And then when you had mentioned it to me, and I took another puff, a little bit of an herbal note coming in there.
Yeah, definitely.
So it has changed a little bit, slightly. But for the most part, I would say, for me, it was pretty consistent, and it changed little hints here and there. But for the most part, it was pretty straight ahead, I think, as far as any transitions. Still good smoke, plenty of smoke. I did have a burn issue. I had to do a touch-up. I would say it was probably a major touch-up because it got really wonky. But, that didn't really bother me that much.
Yeah, I would say there has been a shift because the cocoa black coffee has kind of stepped back. There's hints of black coffee, but it's more of a dark earth with some of that, hints of black pepper, white pepper through the nose, And the retrohale is where I get a lot of that herbal mixed herbs, which is really pleasant. The black pepper to me is more on the finish, at the end of the finish, than it is anywhere else.
I would almost say it was like a thyme flavor.
Pretty savory.
Yeah.
So for me, I know you didn't get much of the cocoa.
I don't get as much of the cocoa. A little bit of the coffee. I would say more like to me it was more like a coffee, like a ground that's left over after it's brewed.
Gritty.
Yeah.
A little gritty. Yeah, but still smooth. It's kind
Yeah,
of,
I mean, the grounds are not necessarily gritty, but it's much. It's just a different taste than drinking coffee, obviously.
yeah.
Like if you've ever had those espresso beans, with chocolate covered. Not that strong though, but more that type of a flavor than a straight coffee or.
Yeah, I would say it's a dark, dark roast type of flavor, and like I said, the cocoa's kind of gone away. Got some of that herbal note, and it's definitely a little dirtier on the finish. I think it's some of that black pepper that's mixed in there that sticks with you, but nothing unpleasant in any way. And construction's been pretty good. As most brew estates are constructed very well. So, slight adjustment, fairly complex throughout, and very, very good smoke. So, how are you to rate this cigar, sir?
Why don't you go first? I went first last time.
Okay, all right, well that's fair. So for me, would I prefer the front end of the cigar better than the latter part? Yeah, I would, because I like that cocoa flavor. A couple times there was hints of cream, but I really do enjoy the herbal note, the more savory note to it. It's a good cigar. I don't think it's, to me, as far as the Ligas are concerned, it's not at the level of a Radzilla or some of the other ones. But in general, I'm going to say this is a great cigar, and I'm going to give it a 93. Really good.
I would agree. It's a good smoke. It's not my favorite out of the Liga line. I was thinking a 92.
Yeah, it's in traditional fashion. We're one apart. Yeah, L40 I think is better. I think the Radzilla is better. A good number 9 could be better. It depends on which number 9 you get, but I like a lot of the line in Liga, but this one is great. And what I like about it is it gets heavier at the end, but beyond that, it's just well balanced and not as heavy as some of the other lines, other part of that line. And I would say that it's something that I could have in the morning or a late evening and still feel good. And in fact, I'd say it's medium full, but it's a smooth medium full.
Yeah, it's not as strong as some of the other Ligas, and really the whole Liga line. I mean, you can't go wrong picking up any of them. They're all different. But for me, if I pick up a Liga, I know I'm getting a quality smoke.
Construction's always good. Smoke is always plentiful. The flavors are always well balanced. It's a great cigar. So if you see them, they're not super expensive. $14 a stick, up to $16 a stick. But sometimes you can find box deals much better. So one shop that I would definitely check out online is Cigars of Habanos. We are huge fans of Cigars of Habanos, and they now sell Liga Privada, so definitely check them out. And check out Drew Estate on drewestate.com. Great presence online and social media, and we're pretty excited because in a week and a half we're going to the Drew Estate Cigar Safari. So hopefully all goes well and we don't get typhoid fever and we come back and
or hepatitis B
or hepatitis A.
Oh, you got your B shot.
No, I got my A shot. I'm not worried about B, but in general, we're really excited about it. So we'll look forward to seeing some reviews on the Drew Estate Cigar Safari recap. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Check us out on the Institute, Twitter, and all that stuff. And don't forget to check us out at cigaraudit.com. Any lasting words?
No.
You should. See you next time. Peace.